Hello. I thought I'd go live. Just run up the stairs. Take a deep breath. I'm actually wondering if there's some sort of filter going on, because I've been a little bit busy this morning. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you are about to pick up the kids, or you're sitting in the car waiting to grab the kids, or Libby's saying hi, we were just speaking about you. Jessie was going to grab some balm for you, Lib, but I'll see you a bit later. Yay! Very excited to see you a bit later, actually. Let's see if anyone else is sitting around in their cars, or perhaps just taking 5 seconds before they pick the kids up from school. Maybe they've got a minute in their day. I won't be too long. It will be saved for afterwards, so you can watch the replay, comment #replay, and then if you've got any comments or questions after that, we can get a notification our end, and then we can reply back. So that's always handy as well. Hope everyone's having a great day. I wanted to jump on and have a quick chat about RTT, so Rapid Transformational Therapy, and what it's all about, my interpretation, and how I got into it. So, Rapid Transformational Therapy, devised out of the UK by a beautiful therapist over there by the name of Marissa Peer. Now, she'd been studying psychology for 30 years and was in a lecture, and the lecturer said to her, this is something, these conditions you can have for a lifetime. And she sat there and went, well, why would I want to go a lifetime with this? I said, she was studying psychology. Surely there's a better way around that. And so she devised a program over the 30 years, bringing in all her teachings and what she took from clients the most to go into RTT. So how I found it was, I'd come over from South Australia in 2013 after leaving a messy relationship. I looked around my life at that point and went, surely there's more to life than what I was currently in, and I had 3 small children with me, and I drove 800 Ks in a little hatchback Barina, and very little money at the time, but I just wanted to be happy, and that was something that I really wanted to focus on in the next coming years. Now, that doesn't mean to say your relationship's like that, or everyone's individual to themselves. And as I came over, my kids said to me, Mum, what are we doing? They were really young at the time, and I said, mate, we just want to be happy. I didn't mind if I was bankrupt, if I had not a materialistic thing in my name. I really wanted that happiness and that peacefulness within me. So after we went through a lot of trauma, a lot of happening with the kids and how that was going to pan out, a lot of my friends were saying, you need to find a psychologist, you need to find a counsellor, you need to talk to someone about this. And I'm not one for that, and I completely understand if people are. Everything and everyone has a place in their life, and I am not one to sit here and go, don't do that or don't do this. It's completely individual to what you want to do and how you want to live your life. So I didn't want to go see a counsellor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. I was of the opinion, similar to Miss Marissa Peer, that I didn't want to talk about this for years and years on end. I wanted that trauma solved and removed from my life so I could be happy. And it wasn't just that trauma, it was trauma from my childhood as well. And trauma is a very strong word, but there is a fair bit of trauma. There was a fair bit of trauma in my life, but that doesn't mean to say whatever you're going through isn't relevant to what you're going through too. So it may be something to do with how you were treated by your friends as you were a kid, or how your boyfriend treated you in high school, or how you reacted to that and what your perception of that was. It may be something your grandma or grandpa said to you, you can't have dessert if you don't do this, or and that's a restriction we put on ourselves. And then our mind links onto that idea that, oh, I didn't do that, and that's travelled onto my adult life. I'll talk about that in a second. So just going back to me, my friends are saying, go see a counsellor, go see a psychologist, you have to get some help. And I was very stubborn at the time, and I was like, no, I don't need help. No, I don't need this. I can do this by myself. Yeah, no, couldn't do it by myself, but I found on Mind Valley the RTT program, and I kept scrolling through, and before you know it, I was hooked. I truly believe this is transformational, as it says, but it truly gets down to the root, the cause, the reason for why we do what we do. Now, that event that happened in 2013 was more of an external event from my internal being, so I was extremely sad, and I created more of an event out of that. So with the RTT, we go back to the cause, the root, the reason. I studied in it. I did intensive training in it, and now we're practicing it, and we're seeing some amazing results through it. And don't get me wrong, it may lead you down the path of seeing a counsellor, it may lead you down the path of seeing a psychologist, and if that's what you need at that time, then that's perfect, because you've reached out and got the help that you really need to live truly in your happiness. When I can do it rather quickly, that's even better in my eyes, but someone else may want to go down that path that takes a bit longer, and that's completely cool too. There's no judgment, everyone's safe, everyone needs to be loved and shown love, and we're already in a position where we're not comfortable, so we hesitate anyway to get that help and to maybe recognize that you need it, which I knew I did, but I wasn't comfortable asking for it, and that's a whole nother story again. But now that I have, I'm feeling a lot, and my whole life is just so much more peaceful internally. It's a whole new world, it really is. So we go to the cause, the root, the reason for why you do what you do, or why that is in your life. And I'm a true believer that the anxiety, the stress, the depression, the weight, the infertility, something is there, and it doesn't matter what, the eczema, the hyperactive thyroid, anything, a migraine, it is all in your body to try and talk to you, to try and tell you something. It's not there to annoy you, even though it is. It's there to give you a message, and I can go into that subconscious mind in a deep meditative state, and we can ask it and find out what it is that it's trying to do for you. It will be trying to keep you safe. It'll be trying to protect you. It may even be trying to punish you for something that it thinks it needs to punish you with. So we give these things a voice. We go back to a memory, something that's triggered for it to come into your life, because you weren't born with it. You weren't born with anxiety. You weren't born with depression. You weren't born with stress. You weren't born with the weight. All these things have come into your life along the way, and we're ready to remove them. So I'm a full believer that they're in your body for a reason, and we can ask them to leave. And once they leave, we can then rewire the brain to say, it's not helping me anymore. I really want to move forward with what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell my subconscious that the program you're running right now, it may have served me when I was 6, it might have served me when I was 10, 16, even 21, even 25. It may have even served me yesterday, but the person I am today, it's not serving me anymore, and I want to move on from it. So once we have that understanding in that meditative state, we can rewire our mind and our body cells and how they function and say, hey, thanks, appreciate it, but moving forward, this is what I want, and we can demand that from ourselves as well. So the process is I have a quick chat with you for about 15-20 minutes. Normally it goes more because we just talk and talk and talk, and that's completely fine because I love it. And once we have an understanding of what the issue is and how I could go about guiding you and helping you move past it and letting it go. Letting it go is another word too. Some people might have a funeral or something and they have to let go of that loved one, or that's the words they've used, and that actually causes them more pain. So maybe it's a release, maybe it's it could be letting go, it could be forgetting about, it could be dissolving. So we're very important to use those words that don't trigger traumatic or painful memories in our mind. So we can release whatever we're holding on to for whatever reason, and then we can move forward. So that's in that first 15-20 minute chat. Then I'll go into the actual session, which is around 2 hours long. We go into the meditative state and we go back to the memories, the events, the cause, the root, the reason for why the anxiety is in your life, the cause, the root, the reason for why you can't get pregnant, the cause, the root, the reason for why the weight won't leave your body, even though you're eating okay, like there's nothing else. And on that, if you are eating poorly, are you worthy? Do you think you deserve weight that's less than what you are? Do you think you deserve to live a beautiful life? Do you think you're worthy of having abundance? All these things that can come up and play with us and play on our minds. So we go back to that memory, then we have an understanding of it with our adult mind, not our 6-year-old or 5-year-old mind, which is still developing. Once we have that understanding, then we can rewire and go, okay, well, thank you, but that's not helping me anymore. Like it's not working out for me. And I understand why you did it for me when I was that age, because perhaps I couldn't communicate what I wanted. Perhaps I have eczema in my life because I couldn't say that I want your attention, but by putting cream on me all the time, then I get mum and dad's attention. All sorts of things can come up, and there's a range of topics about this. So if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. After we do the rewiring, then I'll bring you out. I send you a 10-minute recording, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how we're going. And you need to listen to that as much as you can for as long as you can over the next month or so, when I touch base with you on day 3 or 4 in about a week, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I get you back in to have a chat and see where you're at with your progress. And if there is something a little bit deeper that we need to go into, then we will. But I don't have too many people down that path. It's lovely to see them. I do want to see you skipping down the street. I do want to see you amazing. I don't want to see you coming back in time and time again. I want to see you moving on to better and greater things, because we're all here to be happy, and we're all here to be peaceful and to really enjoy life and not go through the struggles that sometimes we're programmed incorrectly and we're going through. So that's a quick rundown on RTT. It's probably time to grab the kids about now. If anyone else is watching and ready to jump out of the car, or is there ready to jump in. Like I said, shoot me a message. I do have the Facebook page of Be Me, so BE, I think it's .me with Stacey Demos, or I'm at Avexia Maston Ranges, which is what we're going live on at the moment. You can pop into Avexia, you can give the girls a call downstairs, or you can shoot us a message or an email. But other than that, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I will talk to you all soon.